G'day, punters. We're back for another episode of The Wayne. I am not joined by my usual co-host. I've got a special guest in tonight because Luke Marlowe was calling Newcastle races today and he was going to be back a little bit late. So I've given DJC the call up. Most of you guys might know him from tips and slips. Plenty of winners in there from him. He's a machine. He does form for at least 3 states. So I'm going to throw to him. Good afternoon, DJC. Welcome to the show. And I'm going to ask you a question. What do you think about the Cox Plate and should the protest have been upheld?
Yeah, evening, Blakey. Thanks very much for having me on, mate. It feels like I've gone straight from 3rd grade to 1st grade, but yeah, massive thanks, mate, for having me on. Cox Plate, mate, I was heavily invested on NMO. So I'm not sure if that was just my pocket talking, but from the live footage, you didn't see too much until you actually seen the footage from behind the horses, and it looked to me clearly that the winner definitely shifted in, and there was quite some hefty contact there. A lot of people have come out and said, you know, with Animo, the weight it carried, it should have still, if it was good enough, it still should have won, I guess. But yeah, I don't know, mate. It seemed like it took forever for the protest to be dismissed. It was you know, well over half an hour, I think. So it's there's obviously some grounds there, but yeah, I guess the result didn't go my way on the day. What were your thoughts on it, mate?
Yeah, I thought it was a really weak decision, actually. I thought there was more than grounds for a protest. I thought it should have been upheld. I have no doubt. And the weight that NMO carried, that has nothing to do with it. That's a weight for age weight. And that should not have come into consideration at all. So I reckon he got to the other horse. The contact was made. He lost maybe a neck, and then he picked back up and he was back in front after the line. So that means that the other horse wasn't holding him on the line. Craig Williams' whip action was impeded and he was pushed into inferior ground. So if that doesn't... Well, if that wouldn't equate to more than his beaten margin, I'll give up. But we're not going to spend too much time on that. We're going to go through all the races at Randwick, going to find some winners for the coming weeks, and we're going to have a look, some hard luck tails and some horses to follow. But we'll get stuck in there. Randwick, the rail was out 8 metres from the 1,000 to the winning post. True the remainder. Track was a good 4, and it was upgraded to a good 3 after race 5. First race of the day was a 2-year-old plate over 1,000 metres. There was only 1,000 metre race on the day. They were home in 57.58 with the last 600 home in 34.35. That was actually the second fastest last 600 metres of the day. And the best last 600 metres came from Shalatin, home in 33.23. OJ, he was $16. Sorry, she was $16 into $14. Queen of the Bale, $14 into $9.50, and Snitcat, $8.50 into $7. Who did you back here, mate? And what did you think of the race?
Mate, I was invested in the favourite Contemporary, and I thought it was pretty ordinary. To be honest, I thought it had every chance there. The winner was impressive, OJ. From the jump, just settled into a great position in behind the leaders, and just picked a great run late. I thought the second horse, Queen of the Ball, was reasonably strong over the closing sections as well. So definitely, I'll be following OJ and Queen of the Ball out of this race. And I just thought the favourite was, to put it simply, quite ordinary.
Yeah, I thought he definitely had his chance. The market was, well, he was pretty firm. I think he was about $2.80 out to $3.20. The best back runner was actually Shervo. He was actually all right, finishing off $34 into $17. The horse I want to follow out of the race is Shalatin from the Joseph Pride stable. Jay Ford in the saddle. Couldn't keep up early, but through the line was really good. I think he's going to make a nice horse in the future. Didn't know much about the game, but he finished off really nicely, and the further, the better for him. But we'll move on. The second race was a Class 3 highway over 1,800 metres. Home in 150.15. There was only 1,800 on the day. Last 600 was home in 35.45. That was the 8th fastest last 600 of the day. And the best last 600 metres was Red Hot Chili Pins, home in 34.70. Kitzbühel was really well backed here. Wednesday opened up $14 into $5. There were some deductions, just mainly for So Say You coming out. Freedom Square, $6.50 into $4.50, well liked by the market as well, and Laughing or Crying. The market had it right here, $9.50 into $9. Kitzbühel, he's an up and coming stayer, and he that was a dominant win from in front.
Yeah, mate. I was actually on the Tommy Berry horse, Lord de Senemo. Pretty interesting run. It struggled to find a decent spot early and had to settle towards the rear. It was strong late, but it just left itself too much to do. I think the winner was it led and was just too strong over the closing. It was a great leading ride. Another horse that I thought was pretty unlucky in the run, I think it was the horse that came fourth, This Is So. Had a bit of trouble in the straight. It was trying to get a bit of clear running, and it just couldn't until a bit late, but it found the line great in my opinion.
Yeah, he used to be with Anthony Cummings. I remember him, but he's gone to Chloe Thomas, and I agree. He was pretty good late there. It's not really a race that I want to follow into the future. The winner can win more races. I think there's a country championships race, something like a mile and a quarter, country stayers championships or something like that. But he can go into a race like that and be competitive. But outside of him, Freedom Square's lightly raced, and Laughing or Crying is always thereabouts, but not a race that I'll be following with confidence in the future. But these sort of horses are knock-around sort of highway horses, and they can pick up the right race if they get the right run. But we'll move on to the third race, the Brian Crowley Stakes, 3-year-old set weights over 1,200 metres. It's a listed race. Time was 109.25. There was 3 1,200s on the day. This was the middle one. They were 0.36 lengths slower than the benchmark 88. The last 600 metres was home in 34.13. This was actually the fastest last 600 metres of the day, and the fastest of them was Battleton, home in 33.61. Marzu was well liked by the market on the morning. He was 420. Got in to be competitive with Able Willie for favouritism, but then he got back out late. The market settled on Able Willie late. So Marzu started 370. Able Willie, as I said, 210. He got out to 270, and then he was back into 235 late. So the market settled on him late. And Battleton, $9.50 into $8. I thought Marzu was good with plenty of gear changes here, DJC.
Mate, I thought he was unreal. He got the run of the race, in my opinion. Jumped well, got a nice little spot in behind. I think one or two horses went forward. And he just kind of got in behind there and just obviously was too strong late. Sorry. You mentioned Battleton. That was a great run, I thought. I thought that came home like a house on fire. I thought it was absolutely flying. I was actually on Able Willie in this race, mate. I had a pretty high opinion of it from its debut. And I'm not jumping off yet. I thought it was a bit of a... Mate, as soon as he jumped, he kind of got back a bit, and he was three wide the whole race. And including coming down the straight, he just didn't get time to relax at all the whole race. He was just going 100 mile an hour the whole way, and was still, reasonably strong to the line. It was, I thought it was a forgive run for Able Willie, and I'll be definitely keen to get on him next start, especially if he can get a better run in transit.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be dropping off Able Willie either. I thought he was really good. As you said, 3 deep at the back of the field. He was over racing there too, and made a long sustained run, so he just peaked on his effort. I think he's really good. I think he's a nice horse. I think he's a black type winner of the future, and definitely follow him with confidence. I think the market's going to trend towards him, so we're not going to get a big price about him anytime soon. But he's a nice horse. You can see it in his trials and that debut win, and he just peaked on his effort here. And as you said, Battleton, he was good. I think this is a race that we can sort of follow with a bit of confidence. I think winners will come out of this race. I'm not sure where these go. They're not the A1 3-year-olds, but they can find their races and notch up a win here and there. But this race will definitely produce some winners. The fourth race was the Midway Benchmark 72 over 1,200 metres, home in 109.50. This was the slowest of the 1,200s of the day. Not that much slower than the Benchmark 88, actually. Only 1.86 lengths slower than that 88. Last 600 was home in 34.42. So they've gone pretty slow and then they've zipped home. Best last 600 meters was air to air home in 33.58. She's still guzzling the punters' money. Pandora Blue, she was really well liked by the market. $5 into $4.20 on the day. A lot better was offered during the week. Undeniable. She's a really consistent mare. She was $7 out to $8.50. Media Starguest, $8.50 out to $14. Wasn't well liked by the market, but I thought he was really good. Horses to follow for me, Media Starguest and Saquon DJC.
Yeah, mate, I thought Pandora just got the jump on him, I think. Very similar to the winner in race 2, where it led, got into a nice spot, was able to settle, and then was able to kick in the straight again. And I think when Pandora was hitting the line, I reckon it still looks like a lot more in the tank there. So I thought air to air, undeniable, and Media Starguest, so I found that as well, was strong. And I think those three will definitely be in the winner's circle soon enough, I think.
Yep, no doubt. Undeniable's she's just a consistent mare. And Media Starguest, he didn't have much luck. He was 3 deep without cover. Air to air, I'm happy to be against her just because she just never gets over the line first, DJC. So she always starts well in the market, and she's better than this class, but she just doesn't win very often. Given the perfect ride by Alicia Collett, who's going to be riding plenty of winners in town, because she's giving her horses every opportunity to win races, but she just hasn't been able to crack it on a Saturday yet, but she definitely will. We'll move on to the 5th race. I actually backed this horse, so this was a good result for me. It was an open handicap over 1,400 meters. Time was 1:21.27. They actually went 6 lengths faster than the invitation one by Icebath. So this is going to be a race that we can really follow with confidence. Last 600 home in 35.47. So they've gone out hard and they've come home relatively sluggishly. But when you reel off some really slick sectionals early, you're going to come home a little bit slower. Best last 600 meters was Exoboom, home in 34.14. Exoboom, he was really well liked by the market late. I think he got out to about $8, and then he was heavily supported late into $6.50. Yamazaki, $7 out to $7.50. Bergen, $61. I thought he was pretty good on the speed. The best back runner was Star Spangled Rodeo, $15 into $8. I could follow the first 4 here, DJC. I think it's a fast race, and Exoboom's going to the Golden Eagle this week.
Right. Yeah, well, firstly, congratulations, mate. Exoboom was an absolute great pickup for the leg up premium punters. Great price, and what a great ride. I thought Exoboom and Yamazaki were both great runs, and for a second there, I wasn't sure which way it was going to go, but Exoboom, just that bit more momentum down the outside, got the chockies. As you said, mate, I thought Bergen was very strong the whole race, and only got picked up late in the last 50 to 75 metres. Mate, I was on Creadiris, and mate, I'm not sure what to make of it, to be honest. Was a pretty bad watch from the start. Got out to the back, struggled to make up any kind of ground. Leading to the straight, looked no chance. Did pick up a bit late, but there was couldn't do anything from there. I'm not sure if it just got sucked into the whole hype of Creadiris returning to the races, or what to make of it. But very disappointed with the run on Creadiris. But I thought, Exoboom, definitely Yamazaki. They were both great sustained runs down that outside, and very happy for you to get the win, mate.
Thanks, brother. Creadiris, I think he'll win races. I have no doubt. He just has no early speed. He just can't get into a race. He was tailed off here, was never in it, and then he just picked up late and hit the line hard. But he seems to do that over a mile as well. So I'm not sure about him, but he will win races in time. He just needs to get a bit of speed in his legs early. The horses that I want to follow out of it, as I said, the first 4, Exoboom, I think he could win a Golden Eagle. I think he's back on track. We've seen the best of him before. He won a Scone Guineas or something like that earlier in days. Oh, no, he won the Hawkesbury Guineas, sorry. But yeah, he's a nice 4-year-old, and he'll win better races than this. Yamazaki, she had a chance. She will be very well suited back into mare's grade. Bergen, he was really good on speed. You saw Emerald Kingdom drop out. So he's done a good job to stick on, and he was only second up there. So he's going to peak third up. And Quackerjack, first up off nearly a year. He's done a terrific job. He's only been beaten 1.5 lengths, and he can only strip fitter for that. So I'm definitely going to be following that race with real confidence. We'll move on to the 6th race, benchmark 78 over 1,600 metres. There was 2 1,600 on the day. They were home in 1:34.09. That was a class record. They actually came home in 6 lengths faster than the Bondi. Last 600 metres was in 35:33. This was the 7th fastest out of the 10 600s of the day. Best last 600 metres was actually Shibley, home in 35:10. There was a group of them there. No real differences in those last 600 for the top few. Ruby Tuesday was $10 out to $12. Mayfair Spirit wasn't well liked by the market, $7.50 out to $16. Lady Loves to Gamble, bit of specking for her, $16 into $10. And the best backed runner was actually Shibley, really well supported, $4 into $3.30. Ruby Tuesday, DJC, she's pretty hard to catch when she finds the front.
Yeah, mate. Well, that's all you've got to do with her. She's got form leading. It was just a great ride from, I think, Jason Collette. Just knew what to do with it. Knew that if it got in front, it was going to be very, very hard to run down, which it was. I was on Shibley, mate. Settled midfield, and then it got taken back a little bit. Had a bit of trouble getting into the clear. Made up okay ground, I thought, making its way into the straight, but the winner was just too good. Once it got to the front and come around that bend, there was no getting it. I'm starting to become a bit of a fan of Lady Loves to Gamble. I've backed it a few times now, and it seems to be just a very honest horse. You kind of know what you're going to get with it. So I won a few times on it previously, and obviously, was this a step up in grade for Lady Loves to Gamble? Because I think it's come from midweek races, hasn't it?
Yeah, this is her first time in Saturday class, so 100%. She'll get further too. She's won over 1,900 metres in 1850, so she's fourth up here, up to a mile. I'd suggest next time up to anywhere between a mile and 2,000 metres, and yeah, I'd be happy to follow her for sure.
Yeah.
She's very honest, as you say.
Right. Yeah, I was impressed with it, mate. It jumped well and was in the top 3 to 4 horses at the start, and was still there at the end of the race, mate. So it's it was thereabouts the whole way, but just Ruby Tuesday was just a great ride from Jason. He just took it straight at the front, knew exactly what to do with it, and I guess that old saying, just let fast horses go fast. So they were never going to get it.
Yeah, 100%. He did a similar thing to what Tom Marquand did at Hawkesbury that day. The 2 horses that I want to follow out of this race are Five Kingdom. He was third up here, stayed at a mile. He didn't have the best of luck. He was really strong through the line. He'll probably be looking for further now. And the other one was Lord Ardmore. I think this horse is just about ready to peak. That was his second run in Australia. Chris has kept him over 1,400 and 1,600 metres. I'd suggest that he will be going up to a mile and a quarter next start, and he's going to be hard to beat as long as he doesn't draw wide. He drew 9 there, and he was slow away, and he got well back. But they're the 2 that I want to follow out of the race, DJC. We'll move on to the Tats Cup listed race over 2,400 metres. They were home in 2:26.09. That was actually a class record. Last 600 metres was home in 36.63. That was the slowest of the day. Best last 600 of the race was Savvy Valentino, home in 35.30. Torrens, spec in the market, $31 into $21. Savvy Valentino, 12 out to 17. Zayrek, not really well liked by the market at all. $2.35 out to $3.40. Best backed runner was Hush Rider. He was off the map getting back onto a dry track. $9 into $4. What did you make of these, DJC?
Mate, that Torrens, that's just turned up a few times now at odds. I think its last start went at 1. I think it was about 70 or 80 to 1, I think. But just want to do a quick congratulations to Jenny Duggan. She was on board Torrens, and I think that's her biggest city win to date. So congrats there. She's unreal, going unreal at the moment. Jenny Duggan, her strike rate's unreal. Savvy was gallant in defeat, mate. Gee, probably like if you were on Savvy, I think you would have thought you were home. To be honest, that Torrance only literally just jumped out of the ground late. So I was on Zarek, mate. Oh, geez, it really struggled early to find a spot. Watching the replay today, you could just see Tommy. He's just looking inwards, just trying to find somewhere. He didn't get into about the 1,800 metres. I still thought it was looking all right leading into the straight. You know, it made that big looping run. But I guess I don't know if that little bit of extra work early was telling. I'm not sure if they would have, if you would have got into near Torrens or Savvy. But I think with Hush Rider being backed off the map, I think that was just punters obviously looking at, Ruby Tuesday and the other leader before. I think they probably thought it was going to do a similar job. Hush Rider loves bowling along in front, as a lot of the Waterhouse horses do. And, yeah, obviously just didn't come off. It looked good coming into the straight. The punters would have been licking their lips. But, just a great run. So I'll be back in Savvy again. Torrens, I don't know. I just can't catch it. I've backed it a few times and it's run like a busted, mate. And when I don't back it, it wins at double figures. So I'll be giving Zarek another chance too, mate. I thought just do that extra work early, struggling to settle. And, that's my thoughts on the race.
I agree. Hush Rider is a horse that I could follow out of the race. He just needs a dry track. He just set up too strong a speed here. And that was his fourth run back from a spell. He'll be fifth up next time. He needs to find the right race. He doesn't want to be against the top grade stayers, but he can win a race in the near future. And as you said, Zarek, he travelled into the race like he was really going to put him to the sword, but he just didn't go on with the job. I'm not sure if he peaked on his effort or what, but maybe it was that little bit of early work that he did early that you said took away his finishing berth. But we'll move on to one of the features of the day, the $1 million Bondi Stakes over 1,600 metres. Time was 1:35:02. Last 600 metres was 35:13. Best last 600 of the race was Halal, home in 34:47. Really well liked from Wednesday, Halal. $3.40 into $2.30. Keefe, he was $26 into $20, and Lease, really good late, $81 into $61. What did you make of this horse, Halal, DJC? He's put back-to-back wins together.
Yeah, and just did what I guess people expected to do from Tommy. He's good at letting horses do what they love, and I think Halal was just great at just unwinding down a nice straight, gets out of any trouble, doesn't just pulls out. He's good enough to beat him. So I was on Halal through the week. I was and ahhing between Halal and Coastwatch, and I'm happy I went with Halal. Mate, I thought you touched on it. I thought Lease was an absolute great run. I thought he was very strong to the line, and I'll be definitely throwing some coins on him next start. Coastwatch, it was good. It was I guess another pass run, but it just left itself too much to do. Was in the middle there, trying to get a decent run, in and out of traffic. But I just thought Halal pulled to the edge and just picked up the revs and was just too good.
Yeah, Halal, he's really starting to come of age this prep. I actually do think that Coastwatch is going to be the best horse out of the race. I think Grand Final day was that Golden Rose, and he sort of he declined into that Stan Fox, and he's declined again into the Bondi Stakes. But these sort of races, $1 million carrots thrown out in front of Connection. So you gotta put your hand in the ring to have a crack at a race like this. But he'll come back a better horse. I'd suggest that he'll go for a spell now. But Connections have a really good opinion of him and think that he might be a sort of a Doncaster horse next year. So I definitely wouldn't be dropping off him, and the winner goes pretty good as well. Not really a race that I want to follow with any type of confidence. Slow race. They came home in pretty good sectionals, but not a race that I want to follow into the future. I think it's a pretty weak edition of the Bondi Stakes. The feature race of the day was the $2 million invitation over 1,400 metres. They were home in 1:22:37. As I said, 6 lengths slower than the open one by Exoboom. Last 600 metres was 34:67. Middle of the range, best last 600 metres of the day. Best last 600 metres was the winner, Icebath, home in 33.60. Icebath was well supported on the day, $9 into $5.50. Rocket Clock, $15 out to $20. Forbidden Love, $14 out to $21. And easily the best backed runner was on Trivier. She was really well liked by the market late. $3.20 into $2.40. What did you make of the inaugural running of the invitation, DJC?
Well, firstly, mate, I think the winner was just unreal. It was last, made its move coming into the straight, and just a perfectly timed run from McAvoy. I think he just went right at the right time, and it was a great win. Forbidden Love was a big run, and one that I'll be following out of the race. I thought it was hitting the line well. I actually backed in Trivier in this race, mate, and leading into that straight, it looked like it was just going to kick away and put some damage on him. It just looked like it was coming into it smoothly. I watched the replay again today, and there was a bit of a mid-race move from Trivier that it tried to. I wasn't sure if it was just the run of the race that was too slow for it or something like that, but it tried to get to the front mid-race, and I'm not too sure if it that was detrimental to the loss or not. It just, watching it today, I just thought it was a bit of a strange move to do it, considering where the winner came from. So, on Trivia, it didn't have to, I guess, go right to the front. But, yeah, mate, I just thought that the winner was very strong and a perfectly timed run from McAvoy.
Yeah, I'm winner only out of this race. I think she can go to Melbourne and be competitive in a Cantala or a Empire Rose, whatever they decide to go to. I think they'll probably accept in both. I'm not sure if they're on the same weekend or not, but maybe they're not. I think they're a week apart. But if any rain falls on one of those weekends, she'll be right in. I'd probably prefer her to go to the Cantala because she'll get in with no weight and be really hard to beat, because this isn't a black type race or anything. So she's come out and she's penned these, and she was unlucky in Epsom previously. On Trivier, as you said, Tommy had to make a mid-race move. I think he did the right thing. I'm really happy with that ride by Tommy. Because she drew wide and it's awkward for her. So he could have easily, the easy thing to do is just snag her back and try to find some cover. But grand final day, he's given her a kick in the guts out of the barriers, tried to find a spot. He nearly found 1-1, but Rocket Clock kicked up inside him and left him 3 deep. And that's when Tommy's taken off and gone out, sat outside the leader. I think that was definitely detrimental to her, because she's got a question mark over at 1,400 metres anyway. And I think she was about 5 or 6 weeks between runs. So having to make that early move, it definitely took away her finishing, her turn of foot at the finish, because she was still battling away there, but she just didn't have that acceleration at the top of the straight that she's shown in the past. But she's pretty good. I'd suggest that she'll go for a swell now. That's her first time out of the Quinella, so she's very good, and she's going to be one of the better mares in Australia and New Zealand for a few years to come. How old is she? She's a 5-year-old mare, so she's at least got one more season to go. So we'll move on to the last race. I thought this horse was really good. The 10th race, Benchmark 88 over 1,200 metres. This was the fastest of the 1,200s on the day. Home in 109.19, 0.3 lengths faster than the Brian Crowley one by Marzu. Last 600, home in 34.47. Best last 600 was Quantico. This was actually the best last 600 of the day, DJC. Quantico, he was home at 33.07. He was $8.50 into $7. Bold Pine, $46 out to $71. That Brad Widdup stable is absolutely flying. Gravina, really well liked from Wednesday, $2.80 into $1.95, and let the punters down again, DJC.
Yeah, mate, I didn't take Gravina on the nose. I had it. It was the last leg of a multi, which was a real kick in the guts, because watching the run back, I don't think it had any excuse. It was in a great spot, and I think just coming into the straight, it looked like it got caught a bit flat-footed. I think the leader kind of kicked off a bit, and Gravina struggled to pick it back up. It still hit the line pretty well. But Yeah, I just think Quantico, mate, that run down that side was just full of momentum. I thought Volpine was tough to hold on for second. Obviously, that was around the 200-metre mark. Looked like Volpine had kicked away, and they were going to struggle to get it. But Tommy Berry, that run down that edge, it looked like I don't know how he got there. Still, it was an absolute great win. I think he's done that on a pretty similar horse, or not similar horse, sorry, but yeah, Chautauqua-esque, the way it was coming down the edge. I gave it no chance, and even when it won, I was like, surely not. There's one that I thought was an interesting runner, and that was a horse called Kinlock. It missed the start terribly. I think it was about 3 or 4 lengths behind him after the jump, and it somehow got up against the rail, and it was flying home late. I think it finished about midfield, or maybe closer to about 4th or 5th. But I thought it was great considering it missed the start.
Yeah, I agree. He found the line really well. I actually think he had he had like the third best last 600 meters of the race. So he's hit the line pretty hard, cut the corner. And if he had a big end with him, he might have been in the finish. Quantico is a very nice horse. He's been gelded this preparation. He's put in 3 really good performances, and he can be one that we can follow with confidence. I think Electric Girl is the one that I also want to follow out of the race. She was really good. Yeah. Second best last 600 metres of the race, and she's a mare that's forgotten about often. She can go back to mare's grade, and she'll be really hard to beat. This is a race we can follow with confidence. Fast race, zipped home. I think this race will provide many more winners for us, DJC. Thanks for coming on the show. That's it. Do you have a horse that we can identify as the horse to follow out of the meeting? I'll go first because I've sort of thrown that one on you. I'll say Exoboom. I think Exoboom's back. I think he's going to get up to a mile next time, and he's a horse that we can follow with confidence. There was I think they put the lugging bit or something on him there because they wanted to get him to settle, and it worked, and he's going to win many more races. Exoboom. What's your horse, DJC?
Mate, I've come up with 2, and I've actually come up with 2 that I will be bagging unless I see improvement.
Okay.
2 to follow. I'm definitely going to be giving. We touched on Able Willie another start. You might not get the odds, but I just think it done it tough that race, and it was still there at the finish. I think that's one to follow. And I'd like to see the horse in, I think it was race 2, Lord Desimo. I'd like to see that settle a bit closer instead of being pushed back. I thought it was finishing off well. So if that was able to settle a bit closer, I think that could be definitely close to a win. 2 I'll be bagging, mate, until I get a bit of improvement out of is the favourite out of race 1, Contemporary. And I need to see a bit more out of Creaderis, I think.
Okay, well, fair enough. I'll put those down, put them in the sack file. But thanks for coming on the show, mate. Good luck on the punt this week, and you're finding plenty of winners, so keep it up, buddy.
No worries. Thanks very much, Blakey.
Thanks, punters.